Hello and welcome back to part two of getting to know your codex. So if you come across this and you haven't found part one I explained it in a broader overview. Today I'm going to start taking you through the impact path, explaining the gateways there, but also start to introduce you to working with the approach energy. So I'm going to pick today just a little bit more about the approach of the expression because that is something that a lot of people are interested in, and it can help in business in terms of all your communications, your marketing, that kind of lens. So as a slight recap, what we're looking at here is exploring how to tap into your natural genius. So, what is already there within you, and giving you some guidance on how to, like I said, how to tap into it, how to bring it to the forefront, how to really shine the spotlight on it and make the most of it. Because if this is your natural energy, this is your natural genius, how can you start working with it to support you in everything you do in your business moving forward? And although this is a business lens, it does help in, life in general. So we are gonna start looking at the first path, which is the impact path. So as I mentioned in the other video, the reason we do this is it kind of breaks it down so that we know what lens we're looking at here. We can actually start to say, okay, when I'm working with these particular energies, how are these energies supporting me in this particular way? So the impact path is kind of bringing these, it's four energies together, because if you remember, we mentioned that the Sun, the primary genius, is always at the center of all the paths. So it's right in the center of the whole codex. And as we go through, you'll always find it in the center of the path because that's your dominant energy. That is the energy that shines through the most. So it's always present. And what we're doing is we are adding in these other energies and they will complement each other. So for me, this is my chart. The focus is always going to be at the center of everything I do. This energy of focus and shining my passion, everything to do with what I'm passionate about from my two energy, is always going to be predominant in the center, no matter what else I'm doing. And then what we start to do, like when we have a codex reading, or when you start to work with it further, is you see the patterns of how they all connect together. But individually, this path is made up of our leadership, our impression, and our expression. So our leadership is all to do with how we lead ourselves, how others naturally see us and look to us for leading them. And it's a really interesting one for me to explore, this particular one, because leadership, it can be a challenging topic for some of us. Some of us might lean into it, some of us might shy away from it, but it's really helping you to look into what is that relationship you have with leadership. Impression is a very energetic thing. It's not anything that you do. It's the impression that you leave on people. It's the impression that your energy has on people. So they say you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, but this is, when it aligns, this is the energy that you're naturally imprinting on people when they have any kind of interaction with you. This is the impression that they will be left with of your energy. And then we have the expression, which is in traditional, comes from in human design. If you have a look, it will correlate with your Mercury. If you are aware of astrology already, you will know Mercury is the planet of communication. So, what this energy is really sharing with us is the energy, the lens, the filter, the super boost that you can kind of give your communication, the filter that your expression goes through. So regardless of whether you have a defined throat, an undefined throat, what gates you have in your throat, if you're looking at a human design chart as well, this is the filter that all that then goes through, and the kind of the bolt-on energy that is influencing all of your expression. So I'm not going to go into each of the gates just yet, the key codes with what their meaning is. Again, if you remember from the part one, I asked you to just look at the words and resonate with them. What does it bring up for you? Can you notice any patterns? What are you seeing here? And we talked about the alignment cue, which is this one, and the out of alignment cue, because those words, they can really start to show some meaning behind it. But I want to talk about the approach mainly today through the expression gateway. So the approach is something you can work with quite quickly. It's quite clear and concise here that in a leadership stance, be known for your improvements. That's mine. Perceived as the pioneer. So the impression that I give, people will see me go first. They'll see me try. They'll see me experiment. They'll see me have a go at things. And then for the expression, it's teaching. Your superpower is teaching. My superpower is teaching. Now, obviously, what I'm doing at the moment is teaching you all about the codex, and all of my videos that you will find on YouTube channel is generally me teaching something. So when I saw this, what it helped me to do was lean into it. Okay, so there's 6 versions of all of the approaches. So every gateway has 6 versions. I'm not going to go into it now because any line ones in you might want to know, but you don't need to know that for now, like the why. But there's 6 iterations of each of these. And what you can start to look at is, what is the pattern here? What is this showing me? I've got two 3 line energies, which is obviously if I'm experimenting and I'm working with things, I'm going to improve things because I'm going to experiment, I'm going to find something that does it better, and that's going to show through my leadership. I am again here, I'm trying things, I'm experimenting. So again, I might go first, I might find something first, I might try something before everybody else. So those 2 energies, in terms of the approach that I'm using to work with these, they're following the same pattern. These two are different. We've got this line one energy, which is the depth and the depth of my knowledge. So when working with a line one here, an approach one, it's all to do with, for me, my communication superpower is teaching others from the depth of my knowledge. So I would start to ask myself, like, what can I teach here from an embodied place? What can I weave more depth into what I'm teaching? Like, how can I make this like what I'm sharing with people? How can I bring the depth of my knowledge into this? So with your codex, start to have a look. You might have a line one there, and so you can say, oh, that's me too. But just start to have a look at, what is it? Do you have a two? Is your approach here a two? Is it all about sharing your natural gifts with others? Like, if anything that's got a two here, it's all to do with the naturalness. So your natural talents, your natural palette passions, which is what I have up here. So for me, I have quite a strong energy of anything we have in the center here is gonna also add to it. So that's what I said earlier about, we don't just look at them in isolation. Is quite part of my predominant energy is here, is sharing what comes naturally to me, what am I passionate about, what am I following. So I'm gonna add that kind of two energy to my one energy. But if you have it down here, it's all about really thinking, like, how can I share? How can I weave my natural gifts and talents into what I'm sharing? Because this gateway is about sharing. Remember, whenever we're looking at this, although they have similar themes, and a line one, wherever it is in the codex, will have a similar theme. Wherever a line two is in the codex, will have a similar theme. We're looking here specifically at our expression, what are we actually like sharing with the world? What are we actually putting out into the world? What we're sharing with others through our expression. So a line two is, what's the most natural way of you doing that? What are you naturally excited about? What are you naturally passionate about? And what are you sharing about that with the world? A line three here. So if you have a three here, it's gonna mention that your superpower in your communication is bringing levity. So levity, it has a kind of lightness to it, a bit of humor to it. Through all those ups and downs and the struggles, like how can you just bring a bit of lightness to it? Um, you're going to be sharing with people if you have a three here, you're going to be sharing with people, what have you tried and figured out for yourself? What worked, what didn't work? You're going to be sharing your imperfections, your failures. Um, you're going to be bringing that energy of experimentation. Um, but you're also, because of it, there's a playfulness behind it, and you're going to be bringing out through all of your expression, your communication. Um, yeah, this kind of levity of like it's not so serious. It's not so serious. So that is going to be something you can share with others. So if you have a four here, we're still looking at this one here. If you have a four here, it's gonna share, it's gonna mention your superpower is inviting. So the four energy is all about connection. It's all about connection, and doing things from the heart and like authenticness from the heart and sharing and connection. So the where it's saying is inviting, it's like your superpower is inviting other people into your world and sharing your world authentically from the heart. So you're saying, hey, I want to make a connection with you. I'm inviting you into my world. I'm inviting you into my world. And it's a heartfelt, real invitation. And people will pick up on the warmth of your language when you let your heart communicate that. Like if you're generally sharing a heartfelt invitation for people to come into your world, they're going to pick up on that energy. That is the expression that is going to um, come through. So when it says your superpower is inviting, it's inviting others into your world through like a real heartfelt. What do you want to share here? What are you inviting others to step into with you, where there's a connection, a real connection? So if here you have a five, it's all to do with the problem solving. So your superpower is problem solving. So it's really leaning into your leadership skills. It's really leading into, what problems can I solve that will serve others here. So when you're communicating, it's like, can you share what you know as a leader to help other people? So solving other people's problems with practical solutions. So you're not just going around solving people's problems in a way of like, hi, what's your problem? I can probably help you, which you can, but it's more that you have a solution, you have a practical solution. And so you can go out there and say, hey, this is how I can lead you because I have this solution to the problem. Now, I use this example a lot, but a lot of people who have a five in their main profile tend to be, or no, let's put this the other way around. A lot of accountants that I meet, when we then dig into their human design, they tend to have a five in their main profile. Not always, but often because that is a practical solution they can bring to the world and offer in solving people's problems. So, really lean into that is your superpower, that you have practical solutions that you can generally lead other people through to help them solve their problems. So what can you share that as a leader, really lean into that energy and help other people achieve their desires because you do have a practical solution that will solve their problem. So lead with that, actually lead with it. Now the last one, line six, is it says your superpower is modeling because a line six is all about lived wisdom, wisdom that you have picked up across your lifetime, but it's more about that you're you're walking your talk and you're doing the do and your experience over time to master a certain subject is people can see you living and embodying those lessons you have learned. So, where it says modeling, it's because I'm trying to think of an example. Um, if you are an excellent cook and you've learned how to cook, they're going to see you cooking all the time. They're going to see you doing it. They're going to actually see you modeling your own experience. If you have learned how to be an amazing makeup artist, they're going to see you doing your own makeup in amazing ways all the time. Like you're literally doing the thing yourself that you have learned. You are modeling it. And whether that is being emotionally wise, it might not be a practical thing, it might be an emotional thing. Um, but whatever it is, you have the experience and the perspective to help connect other people to their big picture, and you can weave your wisdom in by modeling it yourself, if that makes sense. So, again, when you look at all six of those different approaches to our expression, we've got so many different lenses that we can, if we go back a step and we do look at our human design as well. Like I said, you might have a defined throat, an undefined throat. That's going to bring a certain nuance to your communication. All of the different gates that you've got in your throat, that's going to bring a nuance to your communication. We haven't actually looked yet individually at the gateway itself. That is going to bring a lens to your communication, but how you approach it is different for everybody. And so this is why I love these things, because it's really asking you or inviting you and showing you how we're all so different, and how when we add all these things together, that's why our approach to all these things is so unique and so individual. And so when we look at somebody else, we can say, oh my goodness, I can so see that that person there has a three line. They are so funny and they can bring this levity to light situations, and that's beautiful for them. And I don't have to be that, because my superpower is teaching people what I know. Or my superpower is inviting people into my world. Or my superpower is problem solving people. I have a practical solution that's going to help them. I have lived it, been there, done it, and I have a practical, I can model this and show people what's possible, and inspire them and help weave my wisdom into this. So by leaning into what we are and really owning it, we can stop comparing ourselves to everybody else, and we can love everybody else's energy while loving our own energy at the same time. So that's what I'd like you to do today, is look at the approaches for each of these three paths. So for the rest of them, don't worry about what everybody else's is. I just wanted to run through them all specifically for this one to give you a little bit more detail, but that's the kind of level of detail that you get when you have an actual codex reading and you look into it, is we start to tie all this stuff together. How would these three work together with your main primary genius at the center? How, like, dive deeper into your approaches, and then I will come back and give you some more tips in part three, around how to work with the energy of the gateways as well. And then I'll come back and talk to you through the growth path, the balance path, and the transformation path. But for now, that's just a little piece, a bit more depth in the impact path, and how to start leaning into these approaches and what that's telling you, and how you can start to layer that in and kind of have a look at what are we looking at collectively here with some of this energy. So let me know if you haven't joined me and you're not in my Facebook group. Come and join me into my Facebook group. It's snappily titled Your Introduction to Human Design, Gene Keys and Success Codex. I am a bit of a does what it says on the tin person. So through there we go through all different things. I have Q&As. You can jump on a coffee and a chat with me, ask me questions. I share different bits and bobs. I teach in there. So come join me in there if you haven't already. And I will be back later on with part three, where I will start taking you through another piece of the codex to get you involved, get you on your way. But if you do want a reading and you want to jump in and actually learn more about what's behind these things, like I just went through there, then all the links will be with this video, and I will be back soon.